Hi there. It's been a few weeks since my last video, and I apologise for that. I've had a lot of stuff on my mind. I've been dealing with a lot of things, personal things at the moment, which I'll go into a bit later on. But I wanted to make this video to summarise the last 6 months I've been on Mounjaro. So I've been on my dieting journey now with Mounjaro for 6 months. So I'll be talking a bit about that, a bit about my thoughts on eating at the moment, Mounjaro and Ely Lilly in general, and how I'm feeling now after 6 months. So to start off with, I'm going to just go through my numbers. And what I wanted to mention was that please do like and subscribe. It is very important, apparently, for the YouTube gods, and yeah, so please do click those buttons if you can. Anyway, so going back to my numbers, so my numbers are, I've lost in the past 6 months about 20 kilos, which is about 45 pounds, about just over 3 stone. So I've covered everybody now, so everybody knows how much I've lost. I've gone down from 33, which is obese, to 27 of BMI. And I think that that's probably where I'm going to stop. Maybe I'll go down to 26 if I can, but I'm not going to go down much more than that. I think that overall my weight and my feeling is better, and I don't think I need to push it much more. I think that I'm seeing the results that I wanted to see. I can say I've actually got a bit of a jawline, which is why those of you who have seen my long videos from a long time ago can see with a full beard, not a big beard but a full beard, whereas now I've sort of like gone through to a goatee, which is also because it's November, and in November you're supposed to, it's called Movember, so you're supposed to grow a moustache or a goatee, but also because, you know, I think that it's better for me. Again, if you've got any comments about that, I'd be great to, you know, hear about it, and I'll be listening to you. But I think that it looks better, and I've got more of a jawline that I can actually see now because I haven't got too much hair on my face, though I haven't shaved today, so I'm sorry. Anyway, my muscle percentage has gone up by 10%, and my fat has gone down by about the same sort of amount. So overall, I seem to be sort of like building up muscle, so the protein that I'm eating is helping, and the Mounjaro and my dieting are helping with me losing fat. So again, two good things about the diet. My water percentage has gone up to about 53%. So again, I'm now, because it's winter and it's cold, it's actually not, well, it's actually cold today, but it's nice and sunny, but so I can look out the window and see that. But I've gone down from about 3 litres per day of water, which I was taking in the summer, to going to probably about 2 to 2.5 litres per day. But you know, it's not cold, I'm not sweating, I'm not walking outside or working outside that much, so I'm not really, you know, losing that much water or that many sort of like fluids. So I've got a bit of a problem with drinking too much. So, you know, 2 to 2.5 litres, and as long as I can see that my water percentage is going up, then that's good. As far as pens are concerned, I'm now on my 4th pen, so I've taken 2.5 milligrams, 5 milligrams, 7.5 milligrams and 10 milligrams. That's not to say that I've taken those doses, but those are the pens that I've bought, simply because the higher the dose you buy, the less it costs overall. And if you want to see how I actually sort of like dose myself, then I've made a video about that, which I shall be sort of like reintroducing again, just in case anybody's missed that. But now I've paid, and I've got 2 doses left in my 10 milligram pen, so my 4th pen. So I've spent £545 on those 4 pens, and I've got a brand new 12.5 milligram pen in my fridge waiting for me to use to sort of like taper off and come off in general. So I hope that goes well, and that will be sort of next year. So overall I've calculated at around about £27 per kilo which is actually quite good. It's quite inexpensive, considering that I'm not really buying a lot of food at the moment. I'm not buying takeouts or takeaways. I'm not buying sort of like snacks and Mars bars and chocolates and all this sort of thing. So overall, I'm not really spending much more than I used to spend before I was on the Mounjaro diet. So that's quite good. Now, as far as Mounjaro and Ely Lilly are concerned, so they have actually said now that they have worked out how much they've sold of Mounjaro this year, so year to date, and it works out at $24 billion per year for this year, which makes it the highest grossing drug available on the market today. So it's making more than anything around today, which sort of begs the question of why are they making so much money, and why have they sort of gone out of their way, especially in the UK, to A, up the price, and B, lower how big the pens are. So they used to be able to get 5 doses per pen because they had that much liquid in them. Now they've only got 4, so they've made them smaller, and they've also increased the price. So that's a bit sad, especially seeing as they're making so much money. But hopefully that will change, because I know that the makers of Ozempic, for instance, which is made by Novo Nordisk, have lowered their prices in the US. Now, I assume that's because A, it's less effective than the Mounjaro, because it's only a single agonist, so it's only got GLP-1, whereas Mounjaro has got GLP-1 and GIP. However, it seems to be quite good for a lot of people, and it is a lot cheaper than Mounjaro is. But I'm hoping that next year there will be a triple agonist, which will be available again through a pen, so it's injection, but also there'll be pills available. So they've been going through trials with them, and it's an oral pill that you take, I think, once a day, and they haven't been released yet, but I'm waiting to see whether they're going to be released or not, and how much they're going to be, because apparently they're going to be quite useful and quite easy to take, and it's a lot easier, especially if they are cheap, to just take one a day, and that's it, rather than having to remember to take it and work it all out and all this sort of stuff. So why not? I'm hoping that will be the case. So general sort of feelings about myself and how I look, how I feel. So these days I am feeling a lot better with myself. I'm waking up with a bit more pizzazz in my step. My belt size has obviously gone down, my trouser size has gone down, my shirts are smaller, my coats are bigger, so because I didn't really buy new coats. So overall I'm feeling quite well. I think that my muscle tone is better. Obviously I've made huge strides. I've upped my muscle percentage by 10%, which is good, and lowered my fat percentage. So I'm feeling a lot better, and I'm looking, I think, a lot better. So hopefully that will sort of translate and keep long term. I do feel that now I'm feeling a bit more satiated than I used to feel before the Mounjaro. So I'm feeling fuller quicker, which means I'm able to have smaller portions. So whereas once I used to have, let's say meatballs in tomato juice, which I made yesterday, and they're quite nice. I made them actually from scratch, so I didn't actually sort of go out and buy meatballs, obviously because they're a lot healthier. And I used to sort of have 5 or 6 per day as a meal, whereas now I've made and sort of frozen, so I've meal prepped, and I've done 3 per meal. So that's good, because I don't feel that I need that much. However, I do feel that my need for food, so the food noise, has come back a bit. And though I'm able to eat less, I want to eat for no good reason. So I'm not full as such, but I want to eat more. So I'm trying to sort of like eat healthier things. So I'm eating carrots, I'm eating cucumbers, I'm eating dry fruits. I've got a bunch of dry fruits available to me. So I've got apricots, dried figs, dried plums, dried pineapple. So if I want something that's a bit sweeter but still healthy, and obviously these things are all organic and no added sugar, then I can eat those. And they do block me up a bit, not to go too much into detail, but they do feel a lot better, and a lot better than sort of like eating Mars bars and chocolate bars and what have you. So that's that. I also have a single chocolate tablet in my cupboard that I bought, and I'm having it at a rate of 1 square per day. So if I feel like I want to have something a bit sweeter, some chocolatey thing, then I'm able to have that once a day, and that's enough for me at the moment. I'm also having chocolate puddings, which are very high, well, the ones that I buy are very high in protein. So if I don't eat enough protein during the day, then I can have those to sort of like compensate on that. So that's good. And overall, I'm feeling quite good. And I'm hoping that this will carry on, and that I'm not going to start yo-yoing and putting on a lot more weight because of that. Now, the problem that I'm going to be having, and this is what I alluded to earlier on, was that I'm having an operation in 3 weeks' time on my head, on my brain actually, and in order to prepare for that, I'm going to be sort of stopping Mounjaro for about a week to 10 days beforehand. So I'm going to be taking the last 2 doses of the Mounjaro that I've got on the 10 milligram pen, and then I won't start taking it again out of the 12.5 milligram pen until after, probably about 2 weeks after the operation. So I'm hoping that in those sort of few weeks that I won't be taking anything at all, I will be able to maintain my weight and my eating habits and so on, but also it will be a good chance for me to see how I'm able to do without Mounjaro, and how my habits have improved, and how they can sort of like carry me through for the rest of my life really, without having to sort of like stay on Mounjaro and keep on and on and on it, because to be honest, I'd rather not only because of the price, but because I really want to sort of try and get off it if I can. So, you know, I do realise that I might not succeed, and I do realise that I might need a bit more, especially after I've sort of like taken a few weeks break of Mounjaro, where my system has been sort of completely cleared of it. But we'll see, and hopefully it'll be okay. Anyway, I'll probably make another video or two, even before I go into my operation, which is on the 11th of December. And hopefully by Christmas I'll be sort of up and working and running again, and I'll be happy to celebrate it with everybody. Okay, so have a nice time and enjoy yourself. Enjoy the Mounjaro journey, or Ozempic, or whatever you're taking at the moment, because you can't afford it anymore. And have a nice one. Thanks very much. Bye.